How far is Starbucks from where you live? It's more than 14 miles away from the rural agricultural community where I teach, and the closest college campus is more than 20 miles. My name is CRUZ-BOONE, and I teach for Bakersfield Community College in the Department of Communication Studies at the rural satellite campus, Arvin High School. I come from a place where we grow things, but we don't always educate our residents in global issues. I was able, for my project, to work with the Poetics Lab at Stanford to integrate the annotation application Lacuna Stories into my classroom. It's awesome. I was also, as part of my project, able to organize an intramural between all the satellite campuses for my college, where we discussed and debated global issues. I hope that I achieved my goal to empower my students to travel 14, 20, or 2,000 miles outside their comfort zone.
Imagine an international group of students discussing how the film Parasite critiques the capitalist system that defines our current global reality for movie night. Visiting the Wing-Luke Museum, which stands at the site of the forced removals of Seattle's Japanese Americans during World War II. Visiting the Northwest African American Museum to learn about how so many from Ethiopia and Eritrea migrated and came to make Seattle home. These are some of the many activities that participants completed for the Global Engagement Certificate Program. Hi, my name is TAKAMI NIEDA, faculty at Seattle Central College. For my EPIC project, I worked on redesigning the program so participants can engage with cultures and global issues regardless of where they may be in their journey toward global competence. I'll be talking about how the program allows students to explore the rich cultural resources of Seattle, to find out if they have an interest in majoring in global studies, and to make friends along the way. And how teachers can integrate the program into their classes so students can earn the certificate at the same time. See you in a bit.
African American history is more than Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on the bus, or Martin Luther King Jr. giving a civil rights speech, or the extreme barbarism of U.S. slavery. My name is Dana GRISBY. I teach African American Studies at Laney College. The goal of my project is to globalize African American Studies curricula to offer students innovative ideas about how Black people across the globe are interconnected. I partnered with an organization called the Black Alliance for Just Immigration to host a series of African diaspora dialogues. These dialogues brought together the Laney community to think about ways to be more inclusive of global experiences. An idea that came from these dialogues was to give students first-hand experience of what's going on in Oakland that connects people of the African diaspora. In response, I took students on a field trip to the Betty Ono Art Gallery to see the Afrofuturism exhibit. Students were engaged with cultural installations by artists from South Africa, Brazil, and the US. There was a special creative writing workshop for my class that challenged students to dream of collective liberatory futures. These students walked away from this experience with an increased cultural awareness about resistance and liberation strategies of Black people from around the world.
In 2019, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees estimated that 71 million people worldwide were refugees, asylum seekers, and stateless persons, nearly 1% of the world population. While recent migration crises have captured the interest of many, we often have limited to no historical context either for the current crisis or for the long history of human migration. I'm Edward HASHIMA, Professor of History at American River College in Sacramento. My EPIC project focuses on organizing historical resources on migration to improve the global competencies of students of U.S. history. Students will analyze a documentary record of migration to enhance their ability to establish positive interactions with people of different origins or backgrounds. I want students to develop a greater empathy for those who are currently moving around the world and an awareness of how all of us share the experience of migration in our family stories, whether across town or across continents.
My name is CITLALI, SOSA-RIDDELL, and I teach history at Pierce College in Los Angeles. My EPIC project is a student-based community college assignment that is focused on globalizing Latin American and Latino history. In my courses, I have incorporated a reading list which emphasizes global themes and theories in Latin America, as well as for Latinos in the United States. The readings are complemented by assignments that ask students to explore the globe and the relationship between Latin America and the rest of the world. We discuss themes of immigration, drug trafficking, nationalism, and its relationship to global thinking, as well as the movement of food across the world. I will be discussing my ideas for these projects, as well as 2 assignments that I explore with my students, as well as the impact of these assignments. My 2 assignments include a comparative primary source analysis and a research project with a global approach. Thank you.
Hi, my name is LEVY, and I'm a geography professor at LANEY College in the East Bay. My project uses multisensory methods to teach geography and global studies because the world is not just something we see. The power of this approach is evident when I go around with my 8-year-old and she says, "Dad, it smells like Oakland," or "It smells like San Francisco," to describe the place-based potpourri of sanitation, recreation, and transportation sensations. Those moments embody how non-visual markers give spaces meaning and signal that we've entered a different world. Investigating these markers of outside, home, and away, my project has devised sound, smell, touch, taste, and temperature-based assignments that mix analog devices with artificial intelligence, smartphone apps, and scavenger hunts to chart spatial differences. These methods serve to guide field trips to parks, stadiums, museums, and other landscapes, and are so curious that probably y'all are already thinking about ways that non-visual sensations inform your own understandings. To this end, my presentation highlights 3 aspects. First, I will share tools like Smelfie Kits and Lake Merritt Bingo. Second, I will share student submissions. And third, I will share assignments to spread the model's utility.
How do we get students to engage with a global curriculum? As global education becomes ever more important, it's imperative that we help our students engage with their world. We can do this by adopting an active learning strategy within both our traditional and now in our online classrooms. My name is SORAYA RENTERIA, and I'd like to share with you the activities that I use to create an experiential, global Introduction to Art History course at Las POSITAS College. These activities go beyond slide quizzes and memorization. Here are a few of the activities that I created during my EPIC Fellowship. A sensory art board that requires that students engage with art using all 5 senses. A mini documentary that asks students to analyze art via a video platform. And most recently, virtual art museum visits utilizing the Google Global Arts and Culture project.
With each passing day, the 2008 financial crisis increasingly seems like a dress rehearsal. The extraordinary coronavirus is crushing economies on a global scale, while financial systems are on the brink of collapse. However, this economic turmoil should not come as a surprise to people. Financial crises have been around for centuries, and they will surely be around in the centuries to come. My name is MERINO-HERNANDEZ, and my EPIC Fellowship project is titled A View of the World Through Financial Crises. Thanks to the support of the EPIC Fellowship, I have formulated a comprehensive community college level course that will bring students to the intersection of globalism, finance, and behavioral economics. A student completing this course will have surveyed 5 financial crises across 5 continents while gaining a solid understanding of our global economy's interconnectedness. By the end of the course, students will realize that this time is not different.
Have you ever wondered why some economies industrialize, others emerge, and still others remain in third world status? My name is Andy Radler, and I teach economics at Butte College in Northern California. For my EPIC project this year, I ended up putting together a unit plan of PowerPoint presentations that discuss the 2 primary theories of why some economies stay stagnant while others flourish. We'll be looking at the institutional approach, how institutions end up fostering economic growth, places like medical centers, colleges and universities, think tanks, and we'll also take a look at the human capital approach. I enjoyed putting the project together, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you.
Did you know that Americans generate 10.5 million tons of plastic waste a year, but only recycle about 1 to 2% of it? Stop and think. What did you recycle today? My name is Lauren ARENSON, and I teach anthropology and humanities at Pasadena City College. For my EPIC project, I focused on the fact that powerful countries are creating the waste, but it's generally the poorer countries that are feeling the global disasters. Across our planet, people of color and indigenous populations are exposed to an inequitable amount of environmental atrocities each day. In fact, Robert Bullard, the father of environmental justice, said, quote, "There is a real war going on, and it's a war against health, against the environment, and against human rights." In order to appreciate the severity of inequities, I have designed assignments to increase students' understanding of climate justice while connecting standards of human rights with issues of sustainable development and the need for global responsibility. Together, we can find improvements for our environment, for everyone.